Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. It is an historic night for the state. Once a pipe dream is now near reality. Tasmania's own AFL team is just an announcement away after all 18 clubs threw their support behind the licence. Tom Johnson has been following the story and joins us live now from Macquarie Point. Tom, the big moment will come tomorrow.
It will, Kim. 3 decades of passionate campaigning will be vindicated when the AFL announces Tasmania as the league's 19th team. It means that famous map Guernsey will no longer be something only seen on those old State of Origin videos or photos from days gone by. Instead, it will be where it belongs, alive in the AFL and representing this great state. This site here at Macquarie Point will be transformed, and those who last had the chance to play in Tasmanian colours say the state will transform with it. 33 years after Tasmanian football's greatest triumph,
Tasmania have eclipsed Victoria.
A new greatest triumph is about to be realised.
Could you imagine the excitement from the kids to have something to aspire to that gives them a pathway that was never available for everybody that's gone before?
Doug Barwick was one of those who graced the map Guernsey in the State of Origin era.
Oh, what a roast! Look at the kick!
Between then and now, an entire generation has missed seeing Tasmania tune up against the nation's heavyweights, but not for much longer.
I think it's going to be hard yards early for the original team, but they will be the real trailblazers.
Barwick runs into an open goal from 15 metres out and slams one through for the Demons.
Barwick says the real praise lies with his old East Launceston teammate.
Marked well by Gutwin.
The original spearhead of this final successful push.
This has been a 30-year dream of mine, and to see this occur today, unanimously agreed to by the presidents, has just simply made my day.
3 decades boiled down to just 15 minutes. Club presidents giving the team a tick. Next comes a rubber stamp from the AFL Commission. The team likely to run out in 2027.
I had the opportunity to grab the ball in the centre and kick it down into our forward 50. Jeremy Rockcliffe has taken a sensational mark and has now kicked a fabulous goal.
4 or 5 years' time, when it goes live, I just hope that there is that real surge.
Some teething problems are expected around the list build and the split of games around the state. What's more certain is the buy-in from those who have ridden this roller coaster.
It's not that one-off opportunity where Tasmania gets together to play. It's going to be week in, week out where the Tasmanian team, plays Essendon, Hawthorn, all the teams, and it's going to be week in, week out.
A weekly dose of state pride, better late than never. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, mental health patients in Hobart are set to lose access to vital beds as St Helens Private Hospital moves to close its doors. It means the state will be left without a mother-baby unit, but the government has assured Tasmanians it's working on a solution.
When Louisa Caruana was experiencing some of her lowest moments as a new mum, it was her treatment at St Helens that kept her going.
To have those incredible women and men who work at the service behind me, helping me every step of the way, was just, it felt like a big warm hug when I needed it the most.
But that support is being cut short. The private hospital managed by Healthscope has announced it will cease operations in June, taking with it the state's only mother-baby unit.
We've got an ageing facility, heritage listed, declining infrastructure, and coupled with declining demand, means that the multi-million-dollar investment just isn't viable for us.
That rationale and short notice for staff prompting a serve from our health union.
This is an outrageous, unconscionable, appalling decision by Healthscope.
There'll now be a significant drop in Hobart's mental health beds, with outpatient programs also suffering and devastating those currently accessing the services.
We're in shock, disbelief, that the fact that we're having our safety net, our hospital, taken away from us.
Workers at the site were called to a meeting this morning where they were informed of the difficult decision, with redeployment and redundancy options now being explored for those affected staff members.
We'll work with them to make sure that we have good options for them going forward.
The Premier says planning is well underway to establish a public mother-baby unit in the Tasmanian Health Service, also noting work with other non-government providers to ensure the health system is ready to meet any additional demand.
The state government should pick up that facility, continue to run it, upgrade it and get Healthscope out of it.
In what's another blow to a battling sector, Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A senior member of Tasmania Police is facing a long road to recovery after being hit by a garbage truck in Launceston's CBD. Roads were closed in the city centre for hours as investigators worked to piece together what happened to one of their own.
Turning out in force after a horrifying mid-morning crash. A serving police officer in his 50s hit by a garbage truck at a busy intersection.
These accidents impact all of us and they impact all the members of our community. In this particular case, they impact Tasmania Police even more so.
The senior sergeant was on duty at the time, but not in uniform. Investigators believe the truck was turning right at Patterson Street in Launceston.
Police have attended that scene and forensic services and crash investigation services attended.
Combing the area and using drones to gain a fuller picture of what happened to their colleague. The long-serving officer is in a serious but stable condition at Launceston General Hospital. He's suffered multiple fractures to his pelvis.
He has been with us for a very long period of time. He's a very well-respected and highly regarded police officer.
Bystanders were too shaken to speak on camera today, but told 7 Tasmania News the scene was traumatic to witness.
Look, I don't want to go into details that might cause, harm to people listening.
The truck driver is assisting police with their inquiries. No charges have been laid. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
A 16-year-old female has allegedly assaulted 3 people during a Hobart Magistrates Court appearance. A youth worker, security guard and a police prosecutor were caught up in the incident. She's since been charged with common assault and assault to a public officer and has been remanded in custody to reappear later this month. Tasmanians are being encouraged to have a say on how their privacy is protected in the state. Independent legal experts say it's an important step following a recent data breach. The Law Reform Institute is behind the review and has identified a number of key issues
We've posed a series of questions for people to consider in relation to those gaps we've found and what protections people would like to see put in place.
We need to see that as they age, as the laws age, they're still fit for purpose and that they provide the protections they're intended to provide.
The report can be accessed online with submissions drawing to a close on July 11. Meanwhile, the state government is urging Tasmanians to strengthen their cyber security, investing $200,000 in its new Defend Your Data campaign. The advertisements will be rolled out across all platforms, asking people to secure their passwords, be wary of scams and report any unusual activity.
We want people to be safe online, but we also want people to understand that controlling their data and digital life is in their hands.
It comes after the government fell victim to that Russian data breach, the technology minister stating she has no new information on the attack. Applications are now open for an initiative breaking down rental market barriers. The Jumpstart program hopes to keep young Tasmanians, who account for the majority of the state's homeless, out of social housing.
Amidst a statewide rental crisis, advocates say young Tasmanians are receiving the short end of the stick.
They can't compete against families with young children or people who are double income with no kids. So they're the ones that are continually pushed out of the market.
Colony 47 now partnering with the My State Foundation to deliver their Jumpstart program, offering subsidised rent to Tasmanians under 25 who are in education or entering employment.
We came up with Jumpstart so they can get in. Over 3 years of that subsidised rent, which is at about $50 a week per young person.
These two new share houses are being built to support the initiative and will be fully furnished by MyState as part of its $56,000 investment over the next 3 years. The foundation also providing successful tenants with rental assistance and financial coaching.
Some of the MyState staff will help these young Tasmanians with financial literacy, with budgeting, with their digital, with how to save.
These young people are our future, and we need to give them the skills to be good members of the community, learn how to deal with their neighbours well, learn how to cook and clean and sleep and get up in time for work.
The Jumpstart program is a timely initiative, with the latest census data revealing a 45% increase in the number of Tasmanians experiencing homelessness, 25% of them aged between 12 and 25. Expressions of interest are now open, but it will be a competitive market with only 18 spots currently available. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Electronic solar-powered signs are helping to better monitor drivers and pedestrian traffic in the state's school zones. Close to 600 have been rolled out through a multi-million-dollar program jointly funded by the Commonwealth and the Tasmanian governments. The advanced technology can identify faults to manage them remotely while reducing the amount of time they are out of action.
Those smarts are allowing better knowledge development of the number of people that are coming past these signs, whether you're in a car or a pedestrian. And that's good from a traffic management point of view as well as road safety.
I think there's a high volume of traffic that probably people aren't aware of, and it certainly happens all the time that parents are worried about the speed of the cars on the roads.
Internal backup batteries also means the signs can operate without sunlight and in poor weather for extended periods of time. Launceston is about to be rocked as a much-loved movie adaptation takes to the stage. School of Rock is set to be performed by students at St Patrick's College. More than 100 cast and crew have worked for months to bring the iconic story to life.
It's all about self-discovery and a love of music, and also showing how friendship can prevail and people can change.
It sends a vibe to kids, like, show your real self. Like, if you want to get out there and do what you love, do it.
The show premieres tomorrow night. The Queen Victoria Art Gallery is hosting a sci-fi celebration to mark May 4. The Inveresk Museum unveiling a full program of activities with something to suit all ages, from drawing workshops to an astronomer Q&A and even a costume competition.
We encourage all members of the public to come along. I've got my lightsaber, so I'm halfway there, but you'll need more than that on Thursday night, or you could be a touch out of place.
I've liked Star Wars since I was a child. You know, it's always fun to get involved in things like this and run around in costume and doing things you enjoy. You know, it's good to interact with the community as well.
The event will start at 3 p.m. and run until 7 that night.
The JackJumpers' latest signing says he's been underestimated and is keen to prove his worth. Junior Madut is coming to the Apple Isle from the southeast Melbourne Phoenix after being impressed with coach Scott Roth's vision for the side. He also scored an incredible 51 points playing in the NBL 1 last month. Now 26, Madut left South Sudan as a 6-year-old, grew up in Western Sydney and has been drawn to Tasmania's love for the game.
I've heard a lot about the Tasmania community and how much they love basketball, which prior to signing I didn't really know. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that's like.
The JackJumpers are welcoming news of a Tasmanian AFL team, but they're still fighting to expand MyState Bank Arena.
Our goal has always been to be, and the NBL's goal has always been to be the #1 summer sport. So, you know, now that the public's going to have a choice, they can come and hopefully watch us in the summer and watch the footy in the winter, and we're really excited about that prospect.
The club is still finalising its offer for the highly sought-after Milton Doyle. To hockey now, and the Northwest Graduates is the club to beat, with both its men's and women's sides sitting on top of their respective ladders. The men had their work cut out for them over the weekend, drawing with University after failing to hold their lead.
They're obviously a pretty dangerous team. They've got a number of very, very good players, so trying to keep Ben Reid quiet from the penalty corner spot's always pretty difficult.
Meanwhile, the women's team remains undefeated for another week after beating University 4-2. Their solid form coming down to a strong pre-season.
New coach Damien had a really strong focus on fitness and playing a new game style that we hadn't previously played as a team before, which I think has kind of caught other teams by surprise.
McMullen says the side's success is only going to help her as she prepares to compete in the Under-18 National Championships this July. And Kim, just this hour, Gil McLaughlin has issued a 5-word statement. See you in Tassie tomorrow. It's all systems go.
A big 24 hours. Thank you very much, Tom.
Good evening. 17 degrees in Hobart today. Launceston and Burnie 18. Devonport 19. The state's high also recorded at Friendly Beaches, St Helens and Ouse. Flinders Island 18 degrees. Lowhead, Grove and King Island all 17 and Strawn 15. Most of the shower activity was over the west today as all this cloud moved over the state, and we've got a cold pool of air coming over our way as well. Scattered low-level cloud also over southeast Australia. A cloud band stretches from northern WA through to New South Wales. Tomorrow, a low south of Tasmania has a cold front attached that zips up to the New South Wales coast, a high well to the west having an influence as well. Winds will shift from the northwest to be more west-southwesterly tomorrow during the day at 25 to 35 knots over northern waters and fairly stiff right around the coastline. In fact, we have a gale warning that's been issued for waters between Sandy Cape and St Helens Point, a strong wind warning from St Helens Point to Tasman Island. Hobart tomorrow, looking for 14 degrees and showery, 13 for Geeston, Bothwell showers as well and even cooler, 12 the top. 15 for Launceston with showers, same number for Devonport, Cressy showers as well, 14 the maximum. Burnie expecting 14, showers easing, showery for Strawn and also for Curry on King Island, 15 degrees. 15 also for St Helens, Swansea showers and 14, 13 for Orford. On Thursday, a little respite from the rain, mostly fine apart from a shower over the west. The wet weather back on Friday as it gets a bit soggy for day 2 of AgFest, and a couple of degrees colder on Saturday with showers again, along with small hail and snow to 600 metres. Oh, and chilly southwesterly winds, something to look forward to. Sunny in Perth tomorrow and 27, a morning shower in Adelaide and Melbourne, a windy 15 degrees in Canberra, sunny and 25 in Sydney and 26 in Brisbane. Cloudy conditions currently, 12 degrees in Hobart and Launceston. Devonport currently 13 degrees, Kim. I don't think I want to be a car park attendant at AgFest this year with the wet weather on the way. Everyone's going to be there, big event, all the manufacturers, the agricultural suppliers, the politicians will be there, and of course the Farmers Union, the EIEIO.
Oh, goodness spare me. Well, at least you're not carrying on about the jury at the sheepdog trials this year, Murph. That is all we have time for tonight. Thanks to Murph. For now, it's good night.